So, first things first, let's do the soda. Diet Coke. And a mason jar glass with some ice. had to argue with her and went back to my house. And the next day, his fiancée showed him a voice message she received from his mother, telling her horrible things and refusing to have a daughter-in-law who uses her son as a screen to hide that she's a carpet muncher. I saw red and called my mom. She was offended that I wasn't on her side. Blah, blah, blah. My mom is not generally homophobic, so this new attitude of hers surprises me and makes me think that if I told her before, maybe she wouldn't have reacted this way. Okay, so the whole question, he just wants to know, should he have told his mother this ahead of time instead of letting her find out, in this way. Well, I don't think that if she knew ahead of time, it really would have made any difference. I mean, I don't think this is all about just being shocked. You'd be shocked for a moment, but then whatever your natural feelings about it, that would come out as the same if you were told ahead of time or not, I feel, So, and the fiancée said she did not want it out in the open, so that was her choice, and if he didn't tell his mother, he was just going with what his fiancée wanted, which I think is fine. So I don't think he did anything wrong. I mean, it's unfortunate that this is how his mother has reacted, and it's gonna be a problem. Even if she comes around, she already just acted terrible, and in front of the fiancé. So, I mean, you can say, like, she was never homophobic.